Hey guys, so now that Geek Month is over and we are back to our regularly scheduled programming, it's time for me to bring out this notebook for another couple of my poems. Now, the first poem that I'm going to be reading for you guys is one that I skipped previously, so it's a bit out of order, but I've decided to do these two poems together because they are both somewhat, I'm going to say, provocative and sexual in nature. So if you're not prepared for hearing I don't want to say it's too explicit, but it is sexual in nature, so I don't know if I get any younger viewers, but you may not want to watch this. And it's not very explicit, but they're both about sex and very obviously about sex, so there you go. The first one was written in 2011 for National Poetry Writing Month, which I've brought up a lot, so it's one of those poem-a-day things. And the first one is called Mindfuck Buddies. They say the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and honey, I'm not saying you're wasting yours, but rather you've served it to me for dinner at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The thing is, I don't usually play with my food, but I have to admit, I enjoy fucking with you more than I enjoy actually fucking you, and the shapes your mind makes as I spread it around my plate are just too beautiful to stop. So, this is a poem that I wrote when I was trying to think about why certain people do what they do. And, I guess I was trying to write from a very different perspective from that I normally write from. But I guess I wanted to write from the perspective of someone who had obviously done something bad, or was obviously doing something bad, and, was being manipulative, because I'm not really usually that kind of person myself. And I've always thought that proof of a strong writer is that a strong writer is able to write from a perspective that is very different from their own perspective. So it was kind of one of my attempts at stretching that boundary, and this was one of the ones that I think actually worked out. So let me see. The next one is quite a while past, because yes, we are a lot further than 2011 in our normal chronology. Let's see. So this next poem was also written for National Poetry Writing Month a year later, in 2012. So this poem was written around the same time as the two poems that I did in my last video. They were all written for National Poetry Writing Month, so this brings us to where we are currently today in the chronology. Although this would be placed just before the two serial killer poems, rather than just after, if we're being technical, but it's all around the same time. This one is called Morningslut. So, again, with the more provocative titles, but there you go. You spread my legs like butter, smooth, but I melt easy. Pooling across the bed, I am soft on your tongue and sticky on your fingers. I may cut, but I do not crumble, and my flavor will leave you licking your lips. I want to be your breakfast. Taste me first thing in the morning. Your warmth is like no other, and I am toast. So, I don't quite like the title of this one. It really just started with the line, you spread my legs like butter, and I felt like that had something to it, and I wanted to try and do more with that. So this is what I came up with. And the title, Morningslut, I was trying to come up with something that was reminiscent of breakfast, but also sex. I guess I might as well have just called it morning sex, but I don't know. Anyway, those are those two poems. I think even though this video is a lot shorter than my other videos, these poems are both a lot shorter. I did want to keep them together in that they are both sort of I'm gonna say a similar voice, not the same voice, because Mindfuck Buddies is, like I said, someone who is being manipulative, I guess. They're deliberately messing with someone, messing with their mind, and it's sort of vague as to in what way they're doing that, but I sort of get the feeling that this person is sort of manipulating the person, manipulating them for sex, obviously, but like very empty, cold, meaningless sex, just, because they can, rather than because they actually really want it or anything. Whereas Morningslut seems to be coming from a place of passion. That person is, I want to say, a little more submissive, because they say, you spread my legs like butter, smooth but I melt easy. So that's the person who's like, they're being melted rather than melting someone else, if that makes sense. So this one, even though it's a similar voice in like the very careful sensuality of it, it's a little bit more about, I guess it's kind of bragging. The person's talking about how good they are at sex and how they want to have sex with that person. But it's more like they want to be seduced. Rather than Mindfuck Buddies, they come across as being the one who's doing the seducing. So, it's interesting. I don't know, when I chose these two to be read together, I thought that they were really similar, and that was one of the reasons why, was that I noticed that the voice was similar, and just the fact that they're both sexual, I kind of wanted to, stick them in the same video. But after reading them aloud, I realized that even though both voices are, like I said, very carefully sexual, they're not the same person who's speaking, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, that is gonna be it for today. I'm just gonna be continuing with my regular order of videos from here on out, at least as much as I can. I know someone mentioned wanting to, being curious about doing a video with me reading from one of my comic books, and I was going to try and fit that into the video where I showed you the collection, but that video got far too long, so I might do that for one of the prose videos, especially because I did get some new comic books this weekend for Free Comic Book Day, so I might flip through one of those new ones, or I might go look at one of the old ones. We'll see. But either way, that's it for today, and I'll see you guys next time.